We're live. We got racked up. Ragna's in the house. Ragna's in the house. Ragna's in the house. She's a happy little dog. Happy little puppy. Getting big. Getting big. Get me big. Get me big. What's going on? What's going on? See, what is it? Today's Wednesday. Ooh, the week's almost over. Couple days and then it's Halloween. Cole said, "So, what's going on, brother?" So, woo. All right, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Not a stop. Let's get into the nitty gritty real quick. So, if you don't already follow me on Instagram, _Beowulf. We got a poll going on. So, I'm debating on buying a 2021 Kawasaki Ultra 310R or a 2021 Sea Doo RXP X 300. Now go onto my Instagram, and if you haven't already, vote. Let's see what happens. It ends the voting thing. It's like it only less than 24 hours. So like we could pull up the poll of I was looking at it. It's like neck and neck with people voting and stuff. Man, I'm getting attacked by the dogs. So woo! The camera's that way. The camera's that way. You got Willie's a little antsy in his cage. Willie wants like out of his cage. He's a little antsy tonight. I can hear him cry in the background. He's like, I want to be out and be part of the party. He's trying to get out of his cage. He's like, let me out. He actually figured out how to get out of those cages. All right. No snappings. I don't want to get bit in my hand. So it's crazy. So you got to vote. Vote here, but you can vote too on the Instagram. The Instagram is we got the poll is where it's at. I was looking at it and I get a little. Let me check where it's at. I haven't looked for a couple hours. Let me pull up. I'm on the Instagram. Oh my gosh, it's almost neck and neck between the 310R or the RXP X 300. Oh my gosh, man. Neck and neck. It is nearly neck and neck. It's not like a landslide. We're talking, man, this is going to decide by your guys' vote what one I'm going to buy. No joke. You guys are making the decision, voting what new ski comes on the channel. Christian said, I thought you were done with do. We'll see the votes and see what people want to see. It's not always what I want. It's what you got. That's the reality. That's the reality. Hey. So, otherwise, too, really cool. I took the Kawasaki SXR 1500 in the ocean today, and wow. So, basically, what's going on riding, what people don't realize when watching the videos, the intercoastal is incredibly hard to ride, not by waves, but by current. The current is like, think of if you were in a plane and the whole time the plane had turbulence. How easy would it be to fly the plane? It would probably be really hard. How many people would want to go on a plane where it's turbulence the whole time, right? You'd be like, forget this, right? So it's like when I went to the Midwest, riding Lake Geneva, Silver Lake, whatnot, the ski is a dream to drive. And then when you come up to here, oh my gosh, Willie, seriously, I'm doing a live stream. I'll have to shut the door. I told you not to bark. He's learned if he cries, he can get out of his cage real easy. He gets let loose. So now he's learned to take advantage of that. So anyway, when I rode those places, there was no issues. And every time riding in the intercoastal, it's incredibly hard to ride. So are we going to have now a focusing issue? I hope not. So it was interesting because there'll be like basically was an inlet where I went out today. There'll be parts where you can tell where there's a heavy current, but it's like turbulence on a plane where it just goes really fast, where you're like out of it. So that's what makes it the hardest to ride. You can't donate. It should be the super chat should be. Yeah, you go to the super chat. Kyle, it should work. It should be. Let me check. It should be all on there. Yeah, down. Yeah, it should be. It's under the little dollar sign for the super chat, lower right corner. So what's crazy is I went out there and I was like, oh, I'm like, whatever, let's roll the dice and see what happens going riding out there, right? I've seen really big sharks there, and I've seen all different types of stuff, sea turtles and dolphins and like a lot of cool stuff. But then you're just so tiny. And the reality is this boat ramp in Merle's Inlet, the only people riding there are fishermen. All it is fishermen. So if you want to fishing attracts sharks. So I was like, what the heck? Let's do it, right? So out there, and the thing's like awesome to ride. The last time, yesterday, I went to, was it yesterday? It was yesterday? It had been, yeah, yesterday. I rode in the Intercoastal, and the ski was so hard to ride. I was just like, I'm done with the thing. I was just so frustrated. And then you go somewhere else, and it's like a dream to ride. So let's read some of these comments. Swedish Ostergaard said, let's get the Beowulf subscribe up to 10,000 subscribers. Definitely. Let's get the ball rolling on this. Dan said, just looked at your Instagram story. Did they finally pave Merle's Inlet parking lot? Totally. It's like unbelievable. I think they expanded it. It's actually really nice. And I felt that it was a little bit better riding there. That place doesn't like jet skiers at all. It's like fishermen. Fishermen don't like jet skis. So I was a little afraid when you come to the stand-up. It's like, I find it easy the normal place I go because you can like kind of like come right in the boat ramp and then tie it up and pull it, right? Well, they were all giant boats. So what I had to do is like go be like the end of the dock, and I just came in there. And the problem is there's no neutral. You're just going, and then I shut it off, and then grabbed on, and then like just hopped right off. And it actually worked, but it was like a pain in the butt to put it back on there because I actually had to ride it back on. So you had to put the life vests all back on and all that. And definitely, it was fun going there. I think the stand-up, I had a lot of fun. I was actually, when I rode it, I was like, I don't even want to sell this thing now. And I'm having actual fun riding it. It's sad is that the ski, I mean, I ran the Texas Watercross intake grate and the ride plate, and it just made it like to more porpoise out of the water. And then the hard thing is I don't know what you could do modifying it to fix this turbulence, because it's like it happened a couple of times there, but you can, like, when you're out there, it's like the crazy thing riding the stand-up then riding the sit-down jet ski is then you're actually paying attention to what the water is doing. Like you can tell now where the turbulence areas are. It's just a certain way the water will look, and then boom, you'll hit that spot and you'll totally feel it. And when you're on a sit-down jet ski, you don't feel it. I mean, it's actually, I kind of, in a way, I find it real interesting. But like definitely current does make a difference. The problem is like, is this turbulence the whole entire time? Like I said, you'll see the future video. The Kawasaki, you're just going straight and the ski's just going, and there's no waves and the ski's just going whoop, 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 whoop. And it's just like, you try to stand up on that, and then it's already whooping like that when you're kneeling, and then it's doing that when you stand up, and you're just like, okay. And you make one mistake, the thing will just go flying in the shore, and then your ski is basically could be destroyed. It's a very gambly thing, riding the Intercoastal. I'm done riding the stand-up in the Intercoastal. It's going to be the ocean, or we're going to the lakes. We're going to take road trips to go riding, because I am not taking the Intercoastal is done with the stand-up. Let's read some of these comments. Cole says, I take a 310R every day of the week. Michael said, I vote the RXP. It's kind of funny. I was calling a couple dealers today. I won't call it names. Another local dealer. They only sell Sea Doo. And I'm like, do you guys have an RXP X 300? He goes, you mean the RXT-X? How many seats? And I was just like, dude, do you not know what you guys sell? I'm like, I want an RXP X. He goes, there's no such thing. It's only the RXT-X. And I'm just like, dude, you like just quit. You should be fired if you don't even know what you guys sell or knowing. Like, you should call a dealer and they should teach you something you don't already know. Not like them, like you're trying to, like, if you didn't know anything about skis, you would believe any like BS that they're saying. What? Oh no, there isn't any. And he's like, oh, we sold them all today. And I'm like, yeah, okay, give me a break. You don't got nothing, man. Quit playing. Pierce says, I vote to take the Ultra 310. Reliable, fast, proven machine. How is it? Marcy? I'm guessing that's what it is. If it's not your name, I'm sorry, but I think the 310R, but should wait the Kawasaki new model next year. They got something cooking for sure. I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. I don't know what, like there could be something new coming out and there could be not. I mean, who knows? It is that's where I'm like on the fence. This is where I'm at the fence wise, right? Obviously, I could get a killer deal right now on a brand new GP 1800R. And there's no way I'm going to own two GP 1800Rs that are just completely different models. It'd be so silly having this, like, basically almost the same ski, but not. And then the other option is you still keep the Kawasaki Ultra or the Kawasaki SXR. Stop growling. Everybody's ditzy tonight. You keep the Kawasaki SXR. I get a little nervous when I hear growling and I'm wearing sandals. There, two of them are not good at it. She's just being really bossy. And so basically it's either you keep the Kawasaki SXR 1500 like one more year and then get rid of both skis, or you obviously sell, because I had a dealer already give me a trade-in value of my SXR, and then it's either going to get the new RXP X or the Kawasaki Ultra 310R. So that's basically where I'm at with it's crazy stuff to be worrying about, right? But hey, I like to get some new fresh stuff, or just do some like fresh stuff going back to like being in the ocean all the time, It's kind of, it was fun being the stand-up. I actually, there was a lot more room, so I didn't feel like, I feel when you're in intercoastal, it's really hard to, like, when you're, and I showed this in a video, you pivot the ski like this, and then you turn back, and you have really good view, plus you got mirrors. The stand-up is literally, you're turning your head with a helmet, and you're not seeing anything. And especially, there's a lot of massive fishing boats, and they're not looking to get out of your way. You got to be paying attention to them. Christian said color schemes for both suck. Cole said the RXP X might make more videos since it breaks all the time. I want to say it's Ozzy, a C. I'm saying Ozzy, but man, a C, probably a C. Florida in here, what's going on, guys? Kyle says hi. Kyle says, can I donate? And it should be the super chat. It's a $sign. You'll see a smiley face, and then there's a $sign that says show support to I am Beowulf. And I think it's enabled to do it. If it's not working, please let me know. I see, so you're gonna learn how to flip the stand up. That thing is so big and heavy, man. I love to see it. Rob said 310R all the way. This is like, it's crazy. If you haven't voted, go on the Instagram. It's gonna end soon. Let me check out, because it ends at, I think, 24 hours. So let's see. It's at, I put the thing up at 9 hours. So basically, I want to share it on the Instagram. Obviously, I voted. Obviously, my vote went. I'll spoil it. My vote went to the Kawasaki Ultra 310R. It's where my vote went into that. But it's interesting. It's like literally neck and neck. It's kind of crazy with it. It's kind of exciting to me. I like to see where this gets up to. I thought, like, for sure, I've done polls before, and it's been like a landslide. Like, it's that way. Totally not where you think it'd go. It's actually kind of interesting. You said it right. Azzy, a Z. Same difference. Cool. Figured I got right. David says RXP X 2021. The dogs are like, why are we locked in here now? You never heard Willie make a peep. I actually really shocked. Willie's been just really antsy. Trip says so much lag, but I'm still watching, boy. I don't know how. Let me do a speed check because I know it's has to be on your end on the internet because I have. Let me run. I'll run on my another speed test. Yeah, we're hitting almost like 300. 300 MB megabytes per second. Yeah, it's about we're leveling out at like 300, so it can't be on my end. It is laggy. It's like I pay for pretty quick internet here, fast as you can afford. So whatever the most fast as you got is what I got, and upload is like pretty good too. So should be working fine. DG Heavies didn't think you could consider purchasing another Sea Doo. Hey, you got to keep it open for everybody. You know, like not everybody likes Kawasaki. Not everybody likes Yamaha. Nobody likes Sea Doo. I thought it was kind of interesting to put it in the poll and see what people would think. Rob said, if you end up with the RXP X, which color are you choosing, Barney or DeWalt? It's funny though. Another character, Barney, it has the same yellow as what the RXP X comes in. I posted a photo before. Let's not even get into that. There's another Barney character. Let me find it. Barney. Pull up my phone. Barney. Barney character. Let's see. I want to make sure. Was it yellow or orange? And so you got like no, because it's more of an oranges color, right? Well, look, you got. It has to be this color, like this character right there. Doesn't it look like the color it comes in? Hi guys. It literally looks like it. But hold up, we gotta find another photo. All right, so we got this, and we'll put in this just for fun. I mean, come on, we gotta have a little laughs. I'm telling you, it looks pretty close in the color. It's kind of funny. No, I was. I'm not in the party. I just thought I'd seen somebody share that before. Let's see. Mitchell said, "What's up, Wolf? What's going on, brother?" Nick said, "How much should a dealer be charging for prep, setup, and brake in the 2021?" Well, I have to do a whole video about this because, like, that's why I didn't go Riva Motorsports. They totally tried like 100% ripping me off. Like, not kind of ripping me off. Like, dude, like being the most expensive place to buy a ski from. I mean, seriously, I've done a lot of promoting with them, and they've done stuff for me too. But I mean, buying something like a ski from them. It's like, dude, literally you're being totally taken advantage of. And they told me they were going to be like a decent deal. And so there was no deal. I was being overcharged. And they go, oh, that's just the market. And it's like, yeah, that's the market if stuff's out of sale. What resale used is like, you can't be I've never seen anything. Like when I sold stuff, when I was a main distributor of all these car racing performance gear, you had MAP pricing. Like I was a dealer GoPro, you had MAP pricing. You could not sell it under. Who the heck would it sell something over what it's selling for? Like you never sell anything. I mean, unless somebody's like stupid. Like usually that was hard with that business is everybody's online, and when you're selling like a Borla exhaust, and majority of these companies, when you're a main distributor, they hire these employees that all they do all day long is just spying, checking what you're selling stuff for, like totally checking it. It's like I remember it's really hard with that whole industry unless you're dealing with somebody like you're doing a build, but when you're shipping parts online, it's really hard to be competitive with that. Because all they do are tracking that stuff like unbelievable. Let's see. I don't think anything's changed with the 310R. I think it's like if you got a 2016 and a 2021, I think they're all the same. To be honest, just graphics are different, and that's the crazy. They made some stuff is different. I don't know. It looks pretty close to me. Mitch just said, "Wolf, when do you know when Riva's going to come out with the Gen 2 ride play?" I have no clue. I asked them, and they like nothing's been said. Actually, I'm a little irritated right now because like this was this the clamp? Yeah, these were the clamps, and I did a whole thing, the blow up valve. And if you look at my Instagram stories, you kind of know. So like I bought these really cool stainless steel T-bolt clamps, and like that intercooler piping's that it takes so much to grip that so tight. Like these little flimsy, cheap, like they probably cost them nothing, and it was just for those T-bolt clamps that my cost was $12. Are you really doing that one behind me? And I caught you? What are you doing? That's why I had to keep this in this room. So what she's been doing is her and Willie are chewing on the my bike, chewing onto the feet pegs and stuff. She's just like it's like a baby. You got to supervise her all the time. That's why I keep her in here with me because it's like who knows what she could be up to. No good. That's exactly why Willie can't be loose. So I'm doing these live streams. He'd be up to no good. It's crazy. So I had this life-size Yoda, right? I forgot to even talk about this. I had this life-size, one of a kind. It was from a Pepsi promo when they had the last Star Wars movie. It had been like Return of the Sith or whatever it was. Whatever the one, like in the orders, it would have been the third movie, but it was a newer one. And it was this like special. It was at a Walmart, this life-size. They didn't even sell them. Yoda in this pose with his lightsaber. Huge thing. I've had it for a long time. And I left to go run some errands, and I come home, and Willie somehow broke out of his cage and had Yoda's hand. He broke the statue, like the hand, like just ripped it all up. I'm just like, are you kidding me? And yeah, definitely upsetting. I can actually glue it back together, but I was just like, yeah. And it had these impact dog crates. I don't even know how he got himself out. These are like super expensive dog crates that I found like luckily used on Facebook Marketplace for like half of what they sell for. But I don't even know how the dog got out of it. There's no way to pull it open from the inside. I did see Ragna. She was trying to figure out how to pull the latch to let him out. So I don't know. Yeah, Brandon goes laugh out loud, busted. It's like, dude, seriously, you got to be always listening to what she's up to. Well, she's so smart. She can like open doors, shut doors, lock doors, and she's just a puppy. Just imagine when she's fully grown. It's going to be like unbelievable what I have to deal with. Shows that my internet is pretty sucky. Rob says, Nick, I got a prep set of freight costs for $1K. definitely look around because there's definitely a lot of dealers that just want to take advantage of you. Michael says RXP X will have more aftermarket potential and more exciting on the channel. Well, basically, any aftermarket stuff will be what's already been done before. Everything I've done the RXP X before is basically what it is. So it wouldn't be like anything new. It'd just be redoing everything. That's the same thing with the new GP. What like I was not like when you have one already done, what we're gonna do? Hey, we're gonna do it all over again. And then by the time we're all back to where it's at, then the new one's already out. It's like literally 8 months. 8 months, and the 2022s will be out. I see you. I know what you're up to. I'm not stupid. I got my eyes on you. She's like, oh, man. I think there's a lot of people want me to get the Cowie. It's definitely what it's seeming like that. That people want to see the Cowie. Somebody said spell check. This makes. I'm sorry if you spell check. If you ever thought about buying a fixed school, I don't know what that. There he goes. Where is it at? SVHO spell checks. I have no clue what you're asking. Aziz said, "Don't get another Sinkadoo. No offense to anyone. Get a Cowie. Laugh out loud." Cole says, "Agree. Sipu sucks." I just want to listen to what people like to see, so that's what we're gonna add. It's like where we got the vote in because it's gonna be a decision soon. Maybe the vote should be like, "Don't get either. Keep the SXR 1500." I'm serious. I was like really happy that it rode really good in the ocean because I'm like, oh, if it rode like it's riding the intercoastal in the ocean, that'd be kind of scary. Like I was ready to go out the jetty out in the open ocean, but I'm like, not right at dusk. Like probably one day if it's calm out there where it's not crazy, yeah, that'd be like reenactment of like a shark just flying me right off that thing. Oh, the thing's so tiny. You go on the ocean, like they have like there's a video of like a humpback whale, like right at shore, flying out of the water. Can you imagine being on that stand up and something like that flies out of the water? Like, I'll be like, holy cow. It's like literally you're on a raft going out there in that thing of the ocean. It's like, oh man, it's all, and all there is fishermen everywhere. There's this, like, you talking about, like, I think when I was bringing in the ski, this woman's like rinsing off her inside her boat, and she's throwing like fish guts or whatever, like right where I'm riding by it. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, dude, you really, like, I'm the one that's in the water. Hello. Love my FX. Sorry. Laugh out loud. Oh, that's what Mitchell said. Ever thought about getting an FX SVHO? They're cool, but it's not for me. I literally... The GP 1800R is faster than the FX SVHO. They're a cool ski, but it's not what I'm looking for. Definitely, if you're more into like have like a family and you're hauling a bunch of people and all that, definitely it's a ski to get. To me, I have no children. I'm riding solo, and like I don't need any of that. I personally just want like a 1-seater, 2-seater jet ski. Even though the GP is a 3-seater, the SXR. Not the SXR, the Ultra 310R. I'm getting confused now. That's a 3-seater. It's crazy though, but I had to say the Kawasaki SXR. Why do I keep saying it? I got pulled in my mind. The Ultra 310R is one of the most expensive out of all of them. It's definitely like the price tag is really up there. It'd be like $3,000 less to go buy the brand new GP 2021 over the Ultra 310R, which is pretty crazy. But like maybe $3,500. Yeah, take it back. It's like about $3,500 cheaper. John said the new RXP X 300 is badass. It looks cool. I don't know if they fixed the issues they have, you know? It is literally Kawasaki. The people are speaking. They want to see the Kawasaki. 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 John said the new hull design still has the crappy carbon steel, though. Facts, Cowie. Brandon says, B, you've had a nice mix of skis, bro. Keep it rotating. What I like to do is do like a 1 or 2 jet ski giveaways. It's obviously not going to be free with that, but definitely that's what I like to do yearly is do like maybe even more. Like you build up a ski and you do a paid giveaway with giving it away. It would not be for free. Something I've been wanting to do for a while. And gets you know, where it's like, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out the logistics of what I would do with something like that. But something where people have a chance. So somebody who doesn't have the money to buy a newer jet ski gets a chance to get one, you know. It's something I'd be working on. But then also too, somebody won the giveaway last live stream for the October, but also too, I'm doing free giveaways. So I'm picking somebody monthly for free, and you have to be subscribed to I'm Beowulf and my second YouTube channel, Beowulf Nation. And then follow me on Instagram, I'm_Beowulf. If you don't do Insta, then follow me on my Facebook page, I am Beowulf. And I pick somebody monthly with that, kind of close to the end of the month. We'll do it on one of the live streams. And he won a Jet Tribe life vest. So he's in need of a really good life vest, and it's totally free to enter. That you don't have to pay nothing; it's totally free. And check that out. Rom said, "Getting the FX SVHO first mod, would you recommend? Definitely a blow-up valve. Riva's good, but I had it for a year, and then it started this clamp. Where did it go? I had the clamp, but I've been showing it, and then it just... Where did it go? Right here. So it's expanded, moving apart, and then it's crazy because like basically you go to fasten on, you measure out, and you get the T-bolt clamps. I should have got some extra ones and then sold them probably, but I figured maybe if you guys are into that and that's something you want, I could order a bunch of them and then put them up my website, and then people already have intercooler piping. You just upgrade to those, and they're stainless steel, and not these, but there's, if you see my Instagram stories, you would have seen it. And yeah, maybe it's something if somebody's interested. So you don't have to, like, I had to mess around a while at Fastenal, but figuring that all out. I would stay away from the ribbon delete. Definitely, blow valve will save your supercharge clutch, but I mean, if you don't know how to do stuff, I mean, the ribbon delete, you could just wreck your intake manifold. So it's definitely a gambling thing. If you don't do it right, you could wreck the plastic intake manifold. So if I got another Yamaha, I would not do that again. The ribbon delete, it's one of those mods I did, and then afterwards I had no issues, but it's one of those, like, I probably wouldn't be on my radar of trying to do it again. The same with the Sea Doos. When I pulled out that what do they call it? That filter inside there, that you had to like drill a hole. It's one of those things that they had the girdle, like that. A bunch of companies sell like the girdle goes around the intake manifold for sure. Like if you had a Sea Doo, that's like one of the first things you should do because they split. And luckily, I caught it before mine split open, but it was still, you could tell where some flex, and that's why I installed it and pushed it back down. But definitely one of those girdles for the intake manifold on the Sea Doos is definitely, it's kind of, you know, like there's a lot of stuff. Everybody wants to make the skis quicker, and then stuff to help stuff from not getting wrecked. People don't want to spend the money doing that. So it's kind of like a whole list of things you kind of do before you do. And I guess they could go bad even with the ski being stock. Let's see. Eric says Kawasaki. Kawasaki, please. I think I already said that. Literally, did somebody say 310R? Oh, yeah. There's a chance. Captain said, Cowie, yo, sup, Wolf? What's going on, brother? Sam said, new to jet skis are that Sea Doo is more stable than Kawasaki's. Kawasaki seem sportier. All handle really good. It just, I mean, not going to be like a sit down jet ski is all are stable. There's not going to be one. Stand-ups, we're talking a whole nother world. Sit downs, there's like they're all stable. I mean, it's how you ride. You don't it's like getting a car and like pushing it to the limits. I mean, the car stock can only do so much. It's the same thing with jet skis. I did not look about what's stable, what's more reliable. But that's just me. Get the Yamaha. Let's just stage 1 GP, no extra parts required. Hitman says Kawasaki. No, everybody's sound asleep. The children are asleep. Samuel asks, thanks. What brand has been the most reliable for you? And I'd had to say the Vocos and the Yamaha. Yamaha, hands down. Have never had an issue. Well, there'll be a video coming in. It's not Yamaha's fault with the issue. We've already kind of talked about it. There's not going to be some spoilers, but Mitchell said, you really think I should do a breather kit from an FX Cruiser HO 2020? You can if you want. They're not that expensive, man. That's like what, 30, 40 bucks? Not that bad. Not bad, man. Lich said, you really open to getting the new RXP Wolf? Hey, if the subscribers want it, we'll make it happen. That's why we have the vote. And it's going Kawasaki. Last I look, it's looking like the Kawasaki. So if you've been on my Instagram, there's a little vote page. And let's see where it's at with the votes, man. Ooh, it's very close. Very close. Very close. Just viewing those votes, man. It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. But it's nice getting back in the ocean again today. Definitely. It's like, I was like, oh, what was I going to do? And I was like, it's time to change it up. Ocean riding. I think that, well, there was some like photographer out there taking photos. Should have hit him up, asked him to get a couple photos. He had a huge lens. Well, they had it because it's like a full moon. I think this is going to be the first Halloween ever recorded where it's a full moon on a Halloween, which is pretty cool. Mitchell says, yeah, I think you should get the Kawasaki 310R. It will fit nice in your channel. Wolf, something new, you know. I think it'd be interesting to just see where you can push it to the limit. I mean, obviously, getting the 310R, it's not going to break records, be the fastest ski. Nor ever have I tried to build a ski to try to climb on the fastest. To me, it's pushing through the turns and having fun. You know, it's all about, to me, it's more about handling. And I think I'd be kind of curious to see what you could do in a build on one, like custom seat with Jettrim, playing around with some Sponsons. Subscribers told me a company called Cowie, I think it's called Cowie Performance. Guys built some really fast Kawasaki, especially 310s, really fast. And I'm just curious to see what you could do on a build on one of those, to be honest. I mean, kind of, I'm open to everything, but it's kind of like the new Sea Doo is like, it's something that's already been done. We've done something similar with RXT-X. We've done something similar with the RXP X. I've looked up like Jettrim site. I know they have no seat covers planned yet for the new RXP X. And plus, too, I think they're like way out on getting orders out because it's just so much is coming in. I know that the 310R will sound just like how the Hellcat sounded with that supercharged will be just screaming like, wah, wah. That's why I'm kind of like a little excited. I've seen some videos. I'm like, hell yeah. We're going to have that thing screaming. People be like, what is that? Because you kind of hear the supercharge on both, but it's not like when I had the Sea Doos and when I had the with the Yamaha, but it's not like the 310R. It's going to be like, what? You hear the things winding. What? What? There goes my phone. Lich said maybe a turbo build. What size are I have no clue. It's whatever. We measured it out. I don't have they have so many to choose from. I don't even know. I have them not in front of me. It's wherever the packaging is. These go to Fastenal with it. They measure it out because there's numbers on them. Like, it's a different size. Where did I put that? Because like the ones on here, it's not the same size as what this one is. But this one's like, the problem is really thin. Like I had this when I had the intercooler piping on the RXP X with the Riva one, and I snapped one of these like clear in half, like just snapped it. And imagine how much force it would take with like a pair of pliers or something to like break this in half, like clean in half. So you got to know it's just like, it is just moving so much, flexing and stuff that it just snapped it clear in half, shot the pipe right off. So it's like worth having not these, but the T-bolt clamps. If I had a turbo car, that's what I'd have. I would create I would not be running some like, I mean, I know when we were doing a lot of like turbo builds in the past with cars, like we would never be running stuff like this. It'd always shoot off, and then it would like, all your power's gone. Yeah, Mitchell said, "What does the breather kit do?" It's just a crankcase vent. I don't really think like, well, like the Cowies have like a dry sump system, semi dry sump. It has like, it's not a catch can. It's like a dry sump, and like you have basically like a dry. I remember like when I had the Corvette Z06, that had a dry sump system, and the reason why that would be better when you're road racing it is the oil's not like splashing all around where the crank is not, like where the oil moves. I don't know. I think Kawasaki makes some good stuff. So does Yamaha. Sea Doo does. They have a lot of issues, but I don't know. I'm just open to anything. Whatever you guys want to see, that's what I'll make it happen. Pretty open. Pretty open. What is everybody doing for Halloween? Listen, you tired? Well, oh my gosh. So what's gone on is I've been training the Ragna to be housebroken. So I've been sleeping since I've gotten her. I've been sleeping on the couch. I can't even tell you the last time I slept in my bed. I got a memory foam bed, like king size bed. Like I want to go in my bed, and I'm stuck sleeping on the couch. And I got like 3 dogs jumping all around at me when I'm sleeping. It's like I'm done. I'm hoping tonight I actually can sleep in my bed. And I'm making sure that she's like housebroken. Luckily, when she makes an accident, it's on the tile, so it's easy to clean. And my room's carpeted, so like I've been just I don't want to wake up and just be cleaning up dog mess. And she's getting better and better to where I'm like, could it happen? And because she doesn't like being left in the cage. Like if you're home and you put her in the crate, she screams until you let her out. She hates being in a crate. And I guess with Doberman Pinschers, they don't like to be in crates. I've never had a dog that goes that crazy. Like she like freaks out. Like let me out of here. So what's everybody's plan? Anybody have any like plans for Halloween? Yay, no. I know I gotta have trick or treaters. I know last year I went jet skiing and came home and I bought all this candy and I got home too late and the trick or treating was done and I had like tons and tons of bags of candy and I'm like, this is not gonna be good for me. I almost wasn't gonna buy candy. I was just like, all right, I'll have candy this year. I have my hazmat suit. I got my gas mask with my P3 filter. Look, as a test run, put all the gear on it. People are like, oh, he's dressing up for Halloween. No, I'm just making sure I don't get sick. I have a cardboard box. I'll pour all the candy, and it's like, whatever. I'm not keeping any. None of this coming back in my house. Kids would probably play Warzone. They definitely got that zombie mode, man. I'm gonna be shedding some tears when that zombie mode leaves. I'm gonna be shedding tears because it's just not gonna be the same. I played regular Warzone. I'm like, man, the zombies mode is just way too fun. Daryl says, "Go Kawasaki, no Sea Doo." Yeah, I was gonna do this whole ride, this Halloween costume, and then just ended up being like, it's been actually kind of hot. I don't want to put a costume on and ride around. Kate says, Sea Doo needs to get their poop together. Let's say I would be on the ski Halloween, but it's going to be in the 50, high of 59. Well, definitely. You got that. Like, isn't it crazy that the hurricane hit Louisiana area, man? Every hurricane's hitting them. It was just like, oh, man, I feel bad for those people. It'd suck if it was happening here. Yeah, because Halloween's going to be, it's not going to be super high. It's going to be like, because that's going to be the aftermath of the hurricanes. It'll be like part of a cold front. Actually, though, the weather doesn't look too good for next week. It's going to get a little chilly. Couple nights, days. It's like tomorrow it's supposed to be like a high 85, which is going to be nice, but a 40% chance of storms, which give or take, like here's a good thing to talk about right now is when you go and looking to go riding, you don't want to go off of like Weather Channel or Weather Bug. You need to be looking at radar. So like it could say tomorrow's a 40% chance of rain, and it could only change. It could be like more, it's going to rain the whole time, not rain. So I go always off of like the radar. And then, so I have an app called Storm Shield, which you got to pay. I don't think it's monthly, but basically I want to see the forecast where the storm is going. Some, I forget, they don't show the whole thing. You don't know where it's going. You see what the past is, not where the future is. I want to know like the future where the storm's going. And then I got a lightning app, and you detect both of those because it's really crucial of knowing what you're going out riding. Um, but that also really cool thing too. So a lot of people haven't seen on my Instagram story. So I think it was last week. I caught a what is the lizard called? I caught it. It was like right in my backyard, just hanging out. It's not a chameleon. It changes colors though. It's a what is it called? No, oh no, it's not that. What is it? I have a lizard. I don't even know what species. It's like a chameleon thing. It changes colors all day long. But it's not a chameleon. They sell them at pet stores, but like I'm like, yeah, it was just hanging out, and luckily my dogs didn't eat them. So I got my cage. I'm gonna find him another better cage because actually he needs a little bit more room. And but then when I was younger, I had tokay geckos. Anybody who's ever checked out a tokay gecko? I'll show you guys a picture. So this is like the second largest second largest second largest we want to see better pictures. Second largest gecko. Find a good picture to show you. So I used to have these, so they nicked them like the pit bull of lizards. You had to wear gloves, you know. And the thing bit down on my glove and wouldn't let go. I imagine it was your hand, and lizard wouldn't let go. So look at this. They bark. There's videos that these. Look how cool they're. They're the coolest. Oh man, let's get some better lighting. Look at that thing. Coolest lizard. They bark like a dog. Like they're like basically the closest of a lizard, like a velociraptor from Jurassic Park. Now, they really can't be handled because majority of all the ones caught in they're sold are from wild, so they're not like captive grown, right? And the cool thing, the lizard I got now, like I could hold him and stuff. Like he didn't run away. He likes to be held, like loves it. So obviously these lizards aren't going to stay together. But I'm looking to pick up a couple of these lizards and maybe something cool new in the channel. And you guys get to see something cool. And put a camera up there and watch them moving around and stuff. Definitely. The one lizard I got now, like I could probably bring him into the live stream. He just sit on my hand the whole entire time. Man, next live stream I'll do that. Next live stream I'll have the lizard, and hopefully it doesn't get off me, and the dogs don't eat him. But yeah, so like I'm looking at picking up one of those. I was looking at one of these frogs called a Pac-Man frog, and it's one of the only species of frogs that have teeth. They actually eat mice and stuff when they get fully grown. Like it's crazy. But I guess I was at the pet store. I wouldn't buy something from a pet store. I'd buy in line to do some research with like an actual breeder with all these animals because you can pick and find what you really want. But I didn't realize these Pac-Man frogs, you cannot handle them. Like you can't touch them. You can actually kill them by touching them. So I was like, I was at the pet store and they're like, this Pac-Man frog was like this big, right? And they're like, you need a 10-gallon tank. And I'm like, this thing is like a little dinky like frog. Like he needs his giant. Where's he going? Man, this is too funny. I don't know if I get one of those. You can't handle it. Probably be more challenging. It's like, yeah, I remember when this tokay gecko bit my glove. Everybody was scared of them, and they'd come out of the darkness and like because they're nocturnal lizard, they can climb on walls. Yeah, I remember this one bit down on my glove, and it's like an hour later, let go, and I'm thinking, man, if that was my hand, it wouldn't take your finger off, but man, that'd be uncomfortable for like an hour. This thing just like, yeah. Life's a maze. You dress up as Sea Doo. Dan said Breaking Bad truck or treat. Let's see. Yeah, Maryland's gonna be cold Saturday. I think there's gonna be Halloween's gonna be. I think I'll be underestimating how many kids are gonna come trick or treating on Saturday. because most of Halloween's always been since I lived here. Well, like when I lived in this one house, so I lived in most of my life out in the country for like 10 years, like country, right? Middle of nowhere. And then I had this like suburbia, straight suburbia home, and it was just tons of kids in the neighborhood. And there was like every week would come to this neighborhood to go trick or treating. And I remember like it was just like so much candy I needed, and all my neighbors were like, "Oh, you gotta have a lot of candy." And I've never seen so many people coming trick or treating, and it was just like unbelievable. I only lived in the house for less than a year, and it was like pretty crazy. And then come some of the years here, there's been a lot of people, and sometimes they're not. It's like basically nobody's coming really kind of like after 9 o'clock. They're somewhere trick or treating. I avoid eating candy, so like, I don't want to. Usually, when I buy candy, I buy the kind that like I like to eat, and I'm trying to avoid eating candy. Like trying to be really strict of a regimen of what I'm eating, and candy is not what I want in my house. I have like no sweets. It's like it's all almost every food I have in my house is some type of like healthy food or one or two ingredient foods. It's not like some stuff that's like Pringles is not like a natural food to eat or something like that. Like I don't have that in my house. It's kind of like I treat myself into is I have a bowl of Fruit Loops and marshmallows, real healthy, or Ben and Jerry's non-dairy soy milk Cherry Garcia. That's pretty good. That's like a special treat. I don't have those all the time, but it's a special treat I have. I look forward to my special treat. Okay, so I feel like CD look the best, and they have some really nice features, but I'm gonna not spending 16 grand for a CD that's gonna sink. Insurance might drop you with stuff like that too. It's pretty scary. Literally, that's dope. That thing is sweet. And that Tokyo Gecko is like really cool. Also, the CDs also snap their timing chains all the time, even the stock ones, and you also have to rebuild the supercharger every 2 years, 100 hours. Oh yeah, and they sync. Dances I pay the NOA app weather channel is not worried about getting paid by their advertisers. Blitzed every 100 hours. I could ride that much in under a month. Yeah, definitely. If I did get another CD, I wouldn't do the kind of mods that I did before. It'd be basic stuff that would for sure not avoid the warranty because you probably really need the warranty. I was the one thing with my CDs. I did a lot of stuff avoided that warranty out real quick. It'd be like hardly nothing going done to it. It's gonna be handling it like the scum. I would even do the intake again. Like I'm not taking all that stuff back out. Like I would. That's the one thing I'm like would not look forward. I'm like putting that Riva racing intake back in again, where you have to spend like $1,000 for a setup because you got to buy the water box. I would just don't want to do that again. And plus, this is a pain in the butt to do that. The RXP X was like the hardest one. Because you got to take the whole fuel pump out and stuff. Oh, it's just a pain in the butt. Pain in the butt. It's not hard, but it's just really time consuming. So Cade asked, "What is the best car you've ever driven?" That's a good question. So I've owned a lot of vehicles, probably more than most. Like I've had everything from dualies to sports cars to sedans to race cars to trucks. I mean, I had the Ford Lightning when it came out. I had the SRT-10 Ram that was its competition that had the Viper engine in it. So I've had like a lot of different stuff like S2000, STI, Corvette Z06, Vipers, Eclipse. But when Eclipse is real big, like a Fast and Furious came out, I've had VW bugs and like I've had a lot of stuff. I've pretty much tasted everything. So when I especially off-roading vehicles too. So I've had like every type of you name it, I've kind of had it. And but I think I'm like the best car. That's our question. Best car ever driven or most reliable car ever driven? That's probably the one or two. like for example, I had my Z06. It was set up for the track, but it was running like Hoosier R6s, I think what the tire was. So it was like our DOT road racing slick, and I was driving with all four of those on the street. You had to warm them up, and I remember riding that thing, and it was just like it's just because it was the only tire. There wasn't a lot of tire sizes, so we were basically running a bigger. I think that you could run the factory sizes, but then the rear tire you had to run a tire because then I think the tail end of owning I had the I don't think they make them anymore. The Michelin Pilot Sport Cups. Sport Cup 2s or whatever. And so it was a tire that the Viper ACR was using. So you were putting like a 13-inch tire on a 12-inch rim. And that was like, it wasn't a lot of options for the rear tires. And so that's a good question. I have to tell you, the Crown Vic is by far a nice vehicle. It's not the fastest, but I definitely tell you it's reliable. The Jeep SRT, it was crazy because I got my check today from the Jeep dealer. Finally, I mean, like I sold it weeks ago, and they finally gave me my check. And they sold it last night. And the crazy thing is, like the cars, when I was looking at all these people's histories, kind of like you see the stuff with Sea Doo, right? And there's all these people have stuff with their Sea Doos wrong. Well, I was looking at all these groups, these people, these Jeep SRTs, and it's like stuff that can really financially hurt you could go wrong. Like I didn't realize that my powertrain warranty was over when I sold it by 4,000 miles. And they have these, so you have this mode where you can go into eco mode, right? And when I bought it, I thought, well, that's kind of cool. You get better gas mileage. Well, no, it like is terrible with these cars that do this, especially more in performance vehicles. So the valve lifter will go bad and just grenade. You'll get a tick and the engine's just junk. And the engine is like the engine alone is $20,000. $20,000. That's a lot of money. That's not installed. That's just the price of the engine. And all of them go bad. Like people are like, oh man, you got 60,000 miles. I can't believe it's going. I'm sitting there like, I'm seeing all these people's posts. And I'm like, right before my warranty and all the seals on the transmission went. I've talked about this before. And luckily I got that where it was covered under the warranty. But it's like, it was a ticking time bomb of like, what was going to happen with it. And it's funny. I didn't say it to him when I sold the vehicle. And the guy's like, oh, you missed the Jeep? And I'm like, no way. Like, not at all. Like, I had fun with it. It was a fun vehicle. And the crazy thing is, like, how much the vehicle, like, when I bought it new, it was $80,000 SUV. Like, that's a lot of money. And it had that kind of money. And, like, it had this really cool option where it had that carbon fiber trim, which was real carbon fiber. And this trim came undone. And then they had, like, so many years that you would have it where they would cover it. And then the trim was so expensive, like you would be like, and there wasn't any other options. I mean, luckily it was covered under warranty. They gave it to me. I installed it myself and then gave it back to them. The one it was that bad, but it was just like your trim's coming apart. It had this leather wrap dash that could crack, and like I know I had the panoramic sunroof at the time when I had it. I was like, oh, this is so nice. And at the tail end, I would shut it, and right when I'm shutting it, the thing would reverse and open back up. And I'm like, what happens if this thing has stayed open? Like, and you can't shut it. It was just stuff like that. It was just like, no, anything could go wrong, and anything could go wrong would be like crazy expensive. I'm just like, It'd been cool to put a lot of miles on us, but it was like 100,000 on that Jeep SRT is just not happening. But I think it just matters what kind of vehicle you want to have, you know, like what's reliable. I mean, the faster, all my experience, the faster the vehicle is, the more maintenance the vehicle needs. You know, where you have to constantly check and stuff. But anyways, jet skis, cars, motorcycles, side-by-sides, four-wheelers, the whole boats and all that, you have to be keeping an eye on everything, paying attention before you catch a problem before it happens. Like I was the one who caught that the transmission seals were leaking and the dealer didn't even notice it. You can't depend on the dealer going in there that they're going to be like snooping through, checking everything out. They see so many cars a day. Let's see where we're at. Marco said, "Sup, Wolf, get the Cowie, put the green." Cole said, "Yep, every $100, and it costs $500 if you want Riva to rebuild it. Unless I live nowhere close to Riva, no, you just ship it." Listen, you think Santa will get you the new Sea Doo? Which is I'm allergic to peanuts and chocolate. Yeah, I avoid all dairy products, basically. I use one as cereal now. I have stayed away from cereal for the longest time, and I finally started eating that again. I have like almond milk I use and stuff like that. I try to eat as healthy as I can, and I stay on a routine of eating certain stuff. So that's what's hard is when like they had the food shortage going on. That was a little hard because it wasn't like they were limiting what you could buy, and then when you had the hurricanes come, everything was like, yeah, it's just there's a lot to think about. Like the hurricanes is just like no joke with stuff. That's why I was like, they got a couple of these lizards. I'm like, and what happens to a category 4 and I had to bail out of here? What am I going to do with the lizards? Haul them with? They need like all this heat source. I think that Pac-Man Frog need to like high humidity, like all this stuff. My lizard I got now that I caught in my backyard, it gets super cold at night. So the thing's like it has to survive that. You mean it survives where it gets down to like the 40s and stuff, and it still lives. Go somewhere warm. But I see those lizards all the time, so I'm gonna save them. And I got tree frogs that come, big giant tree frogs that come. And I'm just gonna catch them and keep them, save them from being eaten by a bird or something. Make them live longer. Brandon says, I see a bunch of videos of some bolts that break on Sea Doo. It is either what Cole mentioned or the flywheel, etc. Point is, I don't like seeing the same bolts break, or I don't see the same bolts breaking in vehicles separately, repeatedly. Yeah, all those bolts you like close it, you gotta pull the engine out. Who wants to pull the engine if it's not broken? Why would you pull it all out? Yeah, everybody wants a turbo ski. I tell you, I'm gonna name names of who they are, but there's people who have turbo Sea-Doos, and the person said they couldn't stand it and they wanted to sell it, but then the person tells everybody else a different story. I'm telling you, the turboing your skis isn't well fine and dandy as you think. The reliability is just gone with riding it around normal. It's funny everybody wants to do that. I mean, here people are drilling giant holes, upper part of the hole to have like wastegates exit. I mean, it's a freaking jet ski, man. It is not a boat. It is not a car. Like if you want to do all that stuff, do it to your car. I mean, I posted this photo on the. I'll show you. You want turbo something that would be cool. I posted this. I think today. Was it today or was it yesterday? Today or yesterday, I posted this video on. I saw this on a. Yeah, I saw this on Facebook. Check out this Crown Vic. Focus so you guys can see it. Oh, come on. Here we go. Look at that Crown Vic. It's a missile launcher, and look at the turbo coming straight out, and it has a brackets on the hood and the side exhaust. Now, if we want to turbo something, I would do that because it's basically people are doing this to a jet ski, and you're going in the water, like these huge seats with huge like openings, and like, dude, like you're in the water, like. What would happen if it sunk? You obviously do all that stuff. You got to have insurance. What do you think the insurance assessor would see that and be like, oh, yeah, you're covered. Be like, yeah, see you later, bud. Unless Sea should make a pedal power ski for those who want cardio. Cade said, yeah, my friend bought a 2020 he's a Keep, but it's cheap Grand Cherokee altitude for 45, and soon he's gonna regret it in a few years. Well, that's just crazy. Like I had the Hellcat, and the tail end of having the Hellcat. Luckily, I leased the car, and at the end of the literally the months before the lease, like 5-6 months before the lease. So this is way before the car even came close to 36,000 miles. Right, this is more about like 25,000 miles in the car. the car started just consuming oil. It had no leak. The oil was just gone. And you kept having to add 7 quarts. It was basically like you're adding what you'd be doing an oil change, and all the oil is just going away. Then it got to be where it's like every couple 100 miles, the oil 7 quarts would just be gone. And I'm sitting there like, oh God, so grateful I did not own that vehicle. Like, it's not my problem. But there had been something seriously wrong, but it had no check engine lights. And that's definitely where the Sea Doo was just like, or not the Sea Doo, the Jeep was just like, I did not want to be stuck in that. I, for some reason, thought I had a 5-year, 100,000-mile warranty. So originally I thought I was going to have it for another 2 years and then sell it. And I'm like, oh, just get out of it. And then I got money back too. So you can't complain about that. And they sold it fast. I told them the car, when I traded it or sold it to them, how many people go to a car dealership don't buy anything? They're just like, I want to sell you my car. And it's crazy. I got more money than so originally. I didn't want to be messing around going to dealers. So I tried Carvana, right? Carvana didn't want to give me a lot of money for my car. I'll give it out because the car is sold. I'll tell you the secret. So what I did. So I called up the dealership because I had them pulling out the mid pipes, the catless mid pipes out of the Jeep. So I was like, oh, the car is there. Let's see what they give me. So they said what they give me. And I was like, well, Carvana said more, which they didn't. And they said, we'll match it. I'm like, all right. I was like, I didn't have to drive anywhere else because I went on Carfax, and they had a couple of dealerships where I had probably like $1,000 more than what I would have got for it. But I was like, I don't want to mess around all day at a dealership. I had to figure out how I was going to get home. I didn't even have to get a ride home. I was already at home when I sold it. Tyler says, have you been on a ski in the Florida Keys? Not yet. That'd be cool. That'd be a trip to be planned sometime soon. So it's cool. I got this video coming out. I partnered with a company. I don't want to leak anything until I post it, but I partnered up with a company to have a ceramic coating, and they sent me on some stuff to shoot a video with, and there'll be like a promo code with that. So stay tuned with that. It'll definitely be like the video is going to jump ahead than the other videos, so you're going to kind of see it. I actually like to do it on both the skis with it. So actually also too, what I'm looking for, and I'll post on Instagram and stuff, I'm trying to find a local person with like a Sea-Doo to show what this ceramic coating would be. You got to give me access to your ski and you get a free ceramic coating. So definitely, if you're in the Myrtle Beach area, you got like RXP X, RXT-X, and you got to give it to me for a couple of days and knock it out. Yeah, I would not do 85 tune on anything. Out here, like South Carolina, there is no 85 anywhere. It's funny. There was this car meet. I remember this a couple of years ago. I was at the Hellcat, and where were we? Somewhere in Myrtle Beach, and this guy had a Hellcat Charger, and he's just moved out here, so he had it tuned on E85, and there's no E85 stations. So the guy's driving around with like 10-gallon fuel jugs in his back seat, just so he can drive the car around. How stupid! If I was him, I'd put that stuff back to stock. What are you just not even going to drive your car? You're going to like drive around a bunch of fuel tanks like all around. It's so silly. Like, people do silly stuff. Like, first it's silly, and then second it's super dangerous, and then you're gonna go big baba boom, and like, yeah, just like I remember driving. I was like, dude, there's like, you should research that and put it back in stock. It was just so silly. Like, oh yeah, I had to go on an expedition just to ride to a car meet. Like, I had to carry all this fuel around. This is so silly. Oh man, unbelievable. Both the Crown Vics are able to run E85 mix. There ain't no E85 anywhere to buy it. I looked. I had an app where it shows like all E85, and there's like none of this thing. Take it back. I think there was somewhere that did say it had it, and their prices were more money, like $1.50 more than what I could get premium. That doesn't even make any sense. Okay, then what's the Jeep SRT replacement going to be? Or are you going to keep driving your Crown? I got 2 Crown Vics, man. I got one that has about this. It was 4,000 more miles than what my Jeep was. I mean, it was kind of crazy. I scored this week. I even shot a video with it. So my new Crown Vic has like 68,000 miles. I hardly put in any miles on it. I like keeping the miles like super low on that. I don't know. I'd like to get a Chevy Colorado ZR2, but right now it's just like, let's first see what happens in the next like couple months with the world before making any crazy decisions. And the best thing I have no loans, so like I'm like loan free, and you can't beat that. And the Crown Vics are a lot of fun. I've been buying like silly stuff to put in the cars. I figure when we have like meetups and stuff, like I got a PA system that came today, and then I won't even say what this is. You guys can just look at it and figure it out what it is. And I got this. We got, look at this, wiring with no instructions. Like I have to figure out. This is going to be the mad scientist and be like, what does all this go to? It's just cool stuff. Yeah, get it. Nature's button. Nah, it's like I tested those. I won't even do it in the live stream. I tested those with they're kind of like they're right there with those what that goes to. They're right there in the corner. I wouldn't even pull those out because it's like a mod that I'm gonna tell people I'm doing. It's just gonna be closed course environment mod. But I got the PA, so I thought it'd be funny. Like you go boat ramp, I've seen subscribers there. I'd be like, "Hey, what's going on? Beowulf's in the house." Over. I thought it'd just be kind of funny. Big meetup, be like, "Oh, what's going on?" Me and eBay. I'm just like searching stuff. Like, the PA thing. I think I found on Facebook Marketplace for a really good deal. Some of the stuff you can get really good deals. So I'm like, when I see deals, I'm like, I gotta jump at buying it. I remember I almost got the 350Z. Was it what it's called when it first came out? The track model. I remember I was like dead set in action. I bought that. That's when I bought the S2000. My S2000 was pretty wicked. I'd like to get one of those. Like, I don't know what I want to get. I'm happy with the Crown Vics, and I'm not like I already got 2 cars that bounce around, driving around. And they're both set up. Like I have to say, the shocking thing is, even today going to the ocean, right? I felt it was easier using that than it was the Jeep because the nice thing is it has the vinyl floor. So like when I was in the salt water, it's going to evaporate tomorrow. Like it's not going through, like where there's carpet. And plus too, I just felt it was really nice, like easy to back up, easy to park. It didn't take up a lot of space. I actually just find it a lot easier. I put the backup cameras in them, and it's real easy with just backing up when the trailer is empty. And I actually find it a lot easier to ride around. And then plus too, the crazy thing is like I filled up the one Crown Vic yesterday and had an empty tank of gas. And because it runs regular, like I'd spend like 60 something bucks to fill up the Jeep. That's just pulling it to go riding, which is another added cost. And the Crown Vic cost a full tank of gas cost me like 28 bucks. Like that's like super cheap. That's the one thing I have to say. It's pretty cool. I don't know. I don't even know what I want to get. I kind of want to get well, I heard there's rumors that Ford's coming back with the Crown Vic. I did see that recently posted somewhere. It's supposed to be like an aluminum body, and because originally I was gonna get the Ford Taurus. What's that called? It's called a sedan, Ford sedan police interceptor because it got the EcoBoost with the all-wheel drive, and I could have got one that was like a really good deal, like really good. And I almost bought one, and then they are known to have what's it? What breaks all the time on that? Shoot, it's like all of them happen. Why can't I remember what it is? The water pumps, and the water pumps are built in. So like if it goes bad, then it just puts coolant all inside the engine, which could like really wreck it. And yeah, I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to get those. I haven't found a lot of government auctions and stuff. And then the problem, like I've bid on a lot of stuff. Like I almost bid and bought an ambulance. It didn't run, but it was a newer ambulance. And I was like, oh, you can convert this into an RV. And I've been like, it'd be cool to go on a trip. So you like have an ambulance. And then I was just like, where am I going to put that thing? It can't even start. I don't know. I'm looking at stuff. And I like the whole canine cages. It's super nice. You guys don't even like, I posted that again too on my Instagram, but I'll share it on here. I'm like, here's Ragna today. I go to the bank. Here's Ragna in the new police interceptor with the canine cage, and the dogs love it. I hooked up this like I showed them the last live stream, this air vent thing, just super nice. Awesome with the dogs. I mean, I like taking the dogs places, and yeah, I installed this. Let's see if we can focus. Yeah, I installed that center console. The rail system was there, but I bought that stuff, so it's actually really cool. So I got like you can put different things in there with the plate, but then the whole compartment for the center console right there, and then you got the whole. I like the car. I mean, it's a lot of fun. You guys are like, I had a buddy call me, childhood friend, and he's like, man, I see on social media you got a bunch of police cars now, and I'm like, I told him about all the stuff that I'm like, and he's like, I told him about it because he was shocked that I bought them, and I told him all the stuff it has, and he's like, oh man, and they can tow. I'm like, yeah, they can tow jet skis all day long. Case of thoughts on the new Bronco, definitely. That's something too. That's on my radar. I think the thing is, so for example, like if you look at Jeep, they had the well, the Jeep Gladiator first came out, and then they had the 2020s out for a long time, and then the 2021s changed stuff with the frame because I guess the frames were bending on those. It's always, again, sometimes when something first comes out, it's probably not the most intelligent thing to buy. And then like the Jeep Wranglers, right? You go buy a new one. The base model is like 40 grand. Like that's a lot of money for a base model. But then I think it's even more than that. Maybe it's 45. Last I looked. But then you got the new Bronco where it's basically going to put it at like at least 5 to 10 grand cheaper than Jeep Wrangler, which is going to really give Jeep a run for their money because you got the new Bronco with the Sasquatch package. We have 35s and stuff, which Jeep should have been doing that a long time ago. And yeah, Marco's the new Hummer. Yeah, that thing's like crazy expensive. It looks cool. I don't know. I think it's like a lot of people might not remember this. Like when the plasma flat screen TVs came out, every one of those, they were crazy expensive. Like unbelievable. I don't even know what they were. They were just super expensive. Now look at those TVs. If you compare them when they first came out to what they are now, you can go buy a really nice TV at Walmart for like $500. But then they were like thousands and thousands. Man, they were like 20 grand or like something crazy. I mean, they were just like unrealistic how expensive they were. And it just gives stuff time and to get the price down. That's why I think electric will happen like that some period of time. But they got, I think, Spy Shots. They got some like, what are they gonna call it? They have another Bronco. Like they don't even have the Bronco out, and they already have the next Bronco coming out. Oh, I forgot what they're calling it. I saw some Spy Shots and stuff. It looks pretty crazy, like lifted and stuff like that. I don't know. It's one of those things. Like I'm happy with what I got. To see what comes out. I find a lot of stuff like sometimes used cars sell for as much as they are new. I mean, it's crazy. They sold my Jeep SRT with 64,000 miles for like $44,000. It's a pretty expensive, but you look at what it was new, and it was like the window sticker was almost 80 grand. So the car like depreciated by almost $40,000 in a couple of years. I had it for I got it in 2017, January of 2017. So what, 4, I've had 4 years and it depreciated by 40 grand that quick. That's kind of crazy. About 40 grand. Let's say $35,000 it depreciated. But the crazy thing, somebody bought that with no warranty. That's probably even more crazier. I was like so glad they were like, oh, we had it sold. I was like, good. I didn't want to see it one more time. But it was cool. I had fun driving. It was a lot of fun to drive around. I could tell over time the thing wasn't driving like when I got it first new. Because I had an ongoing thing from like day one, the first year owning it, having like a transmission flutter and stuff. Like you couldn't use that's the other thing that frustrated me too. So when you have the paddle shifters, sometimes when you're supposed to upshift, and when you're upshifting, I had a couple times where it put it down a gear, and I'm like, oh my god, if you were too low of a gear or too high RPM, and then it dropped it down, you could like float a valve or something. Luckily, it never happened, but it was like I stopped using the paddle shifters. I was like, forget that. Kate, have you ever driven a ZL1 Camaro? Yeah, I've driven one of those. They're pretty cool. I remember when the newer body style Camaro came out, because I was going to SEMA show, and then I remember that was there. I think that was like before anybody saw it, I recall, because it was like a big deal that was there, but it was just like it wasn't a real car. It was like like it's like when they filmed Transformers, it wasn't a real Camaro. It was like a car made to look like it. I think that's what was there at that. That would have been SEMA 2007. I think I got a picture somewhere of that too. I think it was SEMA 2007. I'm open like car brands. I'm open to everything as long as it's reliable. I own a Hellcat Challenger. There's tons of videos. If you go under my playlist after the live stream and hit Hellcat, I got like tons of racing videos, like tons of stuff. I think there's like, I'll pull it up right now. I won't play it, but I mean, I'll let you know how many videos there are. There is like, let's see, so many videos of, yes, there's like, if you go under the playlist, like when you're searching, and they'll show stuff like it'll show stuff like this when you click under playlist. So it'll show, like, for example, if there was Yamaha GP 1800R videos, I have 108 videos with the GP 1800R, right? Bull Terrier videos 31, Crown Vic videos 2, SXR videos 56. Wow, reviews 92. Let's scroll down, like Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT videos 97 videos. That's a lot of stuff. But the Hellcat, I have 81 videos of the Dodge Challenger Hellcat. So it's all these videos I did with the Hellcat. Yeah, no, it's pretty interesting. So if you're in there, check it out. Hey, kids, have you seen the new BMW M3 and M4 now? I've not kept up with BMW stuff. I know I was watching some global news, and German car manufacturers are in like deep trouble right now with vehicles. They're like not. It's not good on sales. I forgot what was the whole thing. I was just watching it like a couple nights ago, talking about it's a deep trouble of what's going on with like VW and Audi and BMW and Mercedes right now in Germany and stuff. I said I think their sales are just like tremendously down, like really badly down. The Hellcat sounded cool. It just the Hellcat was like is a Hellcat was a leasing car. That was never to be a car to ever own. If it ain't Tyler, if it ain't foreign, it's boring. My eyes, I can tell I got something in my eye right now. My eyes just turned super red. I wear contacts, and like I think when this whole pandemic started, they didn't order them, so I was stuck having like one set of contacts for 4 months, where you're not supposed to wear them that long, and I had to just only wear them when I would jet ski. Otherwise, I couldn't see. And I finally got them, and I think I had like once when I was waiting, and then I think when I took that trip to the Midwest, I lost one of them, or they all fell out when I was um, riding, and like some like luckily there was a local eye place that had one I could wear or something. Tyler said, I don't think the Hellcat would be a good daily driver. I was goal before getting rid of the lease. I wanted to buy a trailer hitch for it and pull a jet ski with it. I thought it'd be kind of funny. Like pulling the Hellcat. What? It sounded cool. Like that backfire and stuff. It sounded awesome. Um, it was crazy too. So what happened when I got this car, which is again shady dealerships. I don't think I've ever told this story. Oh, it's a hilarious story. So I buy it. And then right before I moved down to South Carolina from Illinois, I updated my tag, or what do you call it, the expiration of your plate. Because in South Carolina, when you buy a car, you have such a period of time to get it listed, or they charge you fees because you get taxed every year on vehicles. So the dealership put it down. It was a Dodge Caravan. Not saying it was a Dodge Charger Hellcat. So when I moved down here, I couldn't register. I drove around the car for like 8-9 months, waiting for the title to go back to Illinois, to be converted, changed to being a different, like not a different, a whole. It was classified as a minivan when I get down here. I'm like, oh my god. So look here, I had this car. You only have it through 3 years. 36,000 miles you put on it. And literally almost one of the years of owning it, you couldn't drive it. So like I was driving around with like Illinois plates. The sticker was way overdue. I've never got pulled over once in that car. And I remember when they had one of those big bike weeks, and I was filming there, and I'm down by the beach, and I get surrounded by police officers on bicycles. And they're all wanting to see me hit the buttons or the track mode and all the modes. And I'm sitting there like, oh my god, just look at my plate. I'll be in deep trouble, man. It's like you pull it up and says it's a Dodge Caravan minivan. And it's so funny. But it finally got fixed. Like literally less than a year before or a little over a year before I got rid of it. I was just like, that was so aggravating. It was so annoying. This is a funny story. During I wouldn't want anybody to know about it. Afterwards, we could joke around and laugh, but it was frustrating. It's a real gambling thing to go take around and drive. I would only think I would drive it at night, and that's why I never tinted the windows in the car too. I was like, because here you can get them pretty tinted, pretty dark, but not like crazy dark. Yeah, it's a pretty funny story. Kelp says, sorry, I'm late. This has been interesting, fun. We're already an hour and 35 minutes. Woo, close to 2 hours. It doesn't seem like it. Case I've seen a GTR with a trailer hitch. You could easily pull with like cars to pull jet skis. Like I think buying a truck to pull a jet ski is a little ridiculous. Lindsay's GP 2021 Kawasaki 310s all blow holes and pistons. Yeah, I had to get all the photos of like every car I had, and like there's a whole story of all of them too. I remember a funny time when I was professionally racing cars, and we were racing at Road America, and they had it where the track was open, so you could drive around in a car. That's only people racing, but like you couldn't go crazy fast. So I remember we had like I forgot all the couple different people I race against, and all those people that were in the car race now still in the Indy Racing League. I remember how funny it was. We're all in there, and like you were just zooming around my STI on the track. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I remember when I was doing the amateur racing, that's when I did with Marco and Truddy. And he was trying to do these stunts at Road America, like in the back area of some car, and I come rolling there. And I used to do like when it was raining, you could spin around the STI like a top. Once raining, you put it like I think it was like where you could split the differential, and I put it where it's more rear wheel drive, and you would just like I could just spin the thing around like a top, like crazy style. But it's the best to do in the rain because you wouldn't burn the tread off your tires and stuff. I could do some pretty crazy car driving. I remember. Let me find this video. This. If I can find it, it's hilarious. Um, where would I have it? I think it's in one of my. Uh, yeah, on here. It's this video, and it was funny because say you guys don't want to look up a video. It'll be a one. It'll be called flashback down memory lane. Right there, it'll be the top with the open wheel car. Right under the playlist, it'll be under racing. So like I had the open wheel race car, and I had a shop and stuff. And obviously, you have people, business people next to you. And I took this open wheel car, and I was driving around the street. I was doing like donuts, and I was making passes up and down like this industrial park and stuff. And then my buddy Lamar that was filming me. At first, we were just gonna film me driving around the parking lot, and all of a sudden, I had no helmet on, and because it's open wheel, stuff hits you in the face. I don't even think I think I had glasses on. Is it? And I was just ripping it up and down the street. Like obviously that's illegal, but hey, it's like so long ago. There's nothing could happen to you. But it was pretty funny. I definitely totally never look back that I shouldn't have done that. I'm totally glad I did do it. Tyler, do you think Sea will ever come out with the two? There'll be no two-stroke jet skis coming out anytime soon. They're gone. I think it's illegal for them to come out with them new now. Kish, you think you're gonna pause? Kate said that's kind of random, but my uncle has a 2017 Porsche 911 and just sits in his garage and collects dust. So sad. It definitely is. Well, some cars could be worth a lot. Like there's some older cars I had, and they were always low miles and stuff. Because I always had it. Like I had a bunch of sports cars all at once. Like I had a lot to choose from, and all of them had low miles because I was just circulating cars. I've never had it like really, not for that long, where I've had just one car. I've always had more than one car, and like my S2000, oh, I just wish I had that thing because the thing had low miles, tons of stuff. It would be worth tons of money. I've told in the past, like I put 100,000 miles on my FJ Cruiser Trail Teams Edition and got exactly what I paid for it new with 100,000 miles because it was like super rare how many made. That was probably the only vehicle I never lost anything. I came out ahead. Like it was basically free to drive with turn around selling it, which is pretty crazy. Brent said, "Who sponsored your race team?" So it was all different sponsors every year. So I had like NASA Space Camp, I had Puma. There'd be a lot that I was like a factory. It matters who I was racing for. Like when I was racing the Viper, it was factory sponsored by Dodge. With that, I mean, you had different. What is going on behind me? All different companies would do it, and then the hard thing is, it's a lot of money to come up with that, and it's like you basically, it was so much work because you would have to be basically like planning the sponsorship for the following year before it came the following year to know if you're going racing and stuff. It's a lot of work. I had more fun doing it when I was just going to Autobahn Country Club driving around, to be honest. I had more fun doing that than actually racing because racing is just real stressful. My dad just was watching the St. Petersburg race, IRL race. And he's telling me, he's like, because I had that race, I had the flu with like 100-something temperature, and like they shut down downtown St. Petersburg. It's probably exactly the same as when I raced it. I was deathly ill, like super ill. I remember the night before the race, we all went out to eat, and I went in the dually, and it was like I felt so cold, and it was like 100 degrees inside, and I'm in the truck blasting the heat. That's how sick I am, like super sick. And I missed qualifying. And they're all like, where? And I came there and I like toughed it up enough to show up. And everybody's like, oh, where were you? And I said, food poisoning. And no, I was like, I had the flu. I shouldn't have been in it. And the car was super hot because how hot it got. You wear this cool suit. Long story made short, I did the race, and it was like, I had no business being in the car there. Because if you made one mistake, you're going into a wall. There was no run out. It was just like the tightest, most technical. They like to have the sewer caps. I think that's what you call it. That's that sewer cap. Manhole. They weld them shut. And I remember when I did like the Denver Grand Prix when I raced Formula BMW, and that was like super scary too because you're so low, and you feel when the car would bottom out because you like the terrain would change of just because it's a city streets that they make in a racetrack. It's so cool until you're out there and you can feel like your butt touching the bottom of the street pavement where it's scraping, and it's just like it's scary because like when you crash in a race car, which a lot of people don't realize, so you don't hold on. Like when you know it's last second, you gotta let go, and be like this position so fast because the steering wheel will, if it hits the wall and you're still holding on, it will just break your wrist like clean off. And I remember I had this one bad crash. Where was it at? Cleveland, Ohio. And the race in Cleveland, Ohio was an airport. And the crazy thing, my grandpa was an Army Air Corps during World War II, and he was a major in the Air Force Reserves. And he used to fly into this airport all the time before I was even born, which is kind of cool. So I hear him racing to this place. So they have it. Be careful if you go off on the grass there, which people think, oh, it'd be safe. Well, then you got all the lights from when they have for the runways and stuff, and you crash in that, it'll just destroy the car. So there, I had a coach, and you come out, and then sometimes when you come out of a turn, and then you know the wings, like if you adjust the front wing and the rear wing, you have to adjust both. Otherwise, it'll upset the turbulence. It's the same like a plane. A lot what I'm comparing with the stand-up, right? So you come out and you straighten out, but if you get sucked into the wall, if you kind of like you unwind and then go. So he said he was there at that corner, and he says, keep on coming closer. Because I mean, you come out of the turn and you're like this next to the wall. It's the craziest stuff. People don't realize it's like unbelievable. So he said I was there, or he said he was there. So I says, come closer, come closer. He's nowhere even near there seeing me. And I come out like he's making it look like you have a lot more room coming in. And I hit this wall. The car's made to split in half when you get in an accident. And the steering column, because I usually wear these like Nomex knee pads because we're on my knees. Because you'd be like, when you're in the race in an open wheel car, the best way to describe it, which I could try to do in the seat, you're like racing the car like this, where you're like back, like you're like laying back. So your knees are up a little higher. So I'd wear these knee pads. And like my dad was flying in, and I forgot him, and the steering column and it hit my knee. I thought like I shattered my kneecap and stuff. And yeah, I remember they had like a whole like winch thing because the seat would be retracted out. It's crazy stuff. Definitely really scary and dangerous. Ryan said, get the Sea Doo. Kelp said, laugh out loud. Can you lease the new Sea Doo? Just kidding. Wouldn't it be? I have to say, some of these brands, they probably come out ahead to leasing jet skis. I would be all up to that. Like leasing one, you have it for a couple of years and you're done. Definitely. I could keep the hours low down doing that kind of stuff. I think they should do that. I think at one time Yamaha did do that, somebody told me. I don't know how that would all work. I know a lot of car dealerships are not pro to get you to lease a car because I think they make a lot less money. So, for example, like if you look at a lease car, I'll give these numbers out because there's nothing to hide. So, you got the Hellcat, which is what about the one I had was like $70,000 something dollars, and then when you we got a little troll. He's just jealous. It's all right. It's okay. Carson is upset with life. Man, you should get some psychiatric help. Yeah, you take care. I'll tell this whole story. Bye. It's so funny. Somebody's just, you don't want to learn some info. So when you have the, oh, look at these swearing and stuff. Yeah, ridiculous. So you basically have the Hellcat, which is about like a $70,000 vehicle, right? So this is partly why you want to lease a car. So it's a lot of money, right? So when you lease a car, you have 3 years, 36,000 miles. That's basically the bumper to bumper warranty. And leasing it, I think it was like $27,000. So it's like when you do the math on that, you basically get to use it basically what you would drive. You know, you wouldn't buy one of those Hellcats to put like 60,000 miles on it. You basically get to enjoy a 700 plus horsepower car. I mean, I think realistically, that's probably one of the best deals that Dodge has to get with offering it. But I know when I leased it, I checked all these dealers out with what their, what the leasing rates were and all that, and I found that a lot more logical. That's probably like a new car. I would only lease a car in the future of a new vehicle, my opinion. Kate said, Parrot said, hey, Beowulf, if you looking to get a Seapoo? Kate said, nah, he's getting the Kawasaki. Antonio says, the Sea Doo RXP X 2021 is the best choice. Parrot said, you're the Yamaha man and the Cowie man. Thumbs up. Gail says, Sea Doo is the best choice if you like a submarine. Parrot said, go Cowie. 310R, much better. I think it's funny if you're gonna troll somebody on here, it wouldn't be too intelligent to have your first and last name. Just saying. A lot of ways to track stuff pretty quick. I can tell you if you get the Seapoo. The Barap said, I wonder why Honda stopped making skis. Honda, totally dropped the ball with a lot of stuff. I mean, you had the jet skis they dropped. They stopped making S2000. I mean, they had a period of time they had no type of sport vehicles. It's upsetting, but I don't think Honda's coming back with anything, to be honest. I wouldn't hold your breath on that. The reason too is because they don't have any established dealerships. So if they came up with something, they'd have to get all that lined up. And I think that's just a really hard thing to be doing that kind of stuff now. I think there's companies that are, you know, you'd have to hire reps to be contacting all these dealers, trying to convince them to make orders. You know, I've heard mixed things of how car dealers work when they're buying new cars, like how they get them and how little they have to pay, and then have to start making money or start paying for it once it's after so many days and stuff. Brent said, "How come you think about Sea-Doo again when you kept worrying about them sinking?" I'm just throwing as an option. There's a vote on my Instagram. I'm _ Beowulf. You vote what you guys like to see on the channel. I didn't say I want to. I haven't said I want to buy one. I'm voting to see what you guys want to see. I'm not saying there's no way I said I want to see I buy a Sea-Doo. There's a vote. What are you gonna be like? Here's a vote. I'm getting a Kawasaki, yay or nay. Like, no, we'll throw someone else out. Yeah, everybody's all Cowie, it seems like. It seems like the 310R is on the radar. I want to check out that. I'm checking out of that poll again. I want to see. We'll see where this is at. See where the polls at. It is pretty close, guys. Pretty close in those numbers. Once it gets closer, see we're at 11 hours. The poll on my Instagram stories with that. I'll post it. Probably should post it. Right when I wake up, I don't want to lose out what it is because I don't know if they always last to their 24 hours or not. But definitely I want to share it so people can see it. But yeah, no, definitely it's interesting where these numbers are at that what people want to see. How many people are excited that the Mandalorian season 2 starts? I'm super excited. That's what I'm just deciding. I was bringing up with that life-size Yoda statue. I'm debating once the season 2 Mandalorian starts, everybody wants to see baby Yoda again, maybe like that. Because I looked on eBay. What I got, nobody has for sale. You can't find it anywhere. I think it's time to put it. I've been on the list of selling it. I'm just one of those people. I'm ready to sell my life-size Yoda. I'm ready to let it go to a new home. His dogs are like passed out cold. You can just hear him snoring. I think it's and Pike's the one that snores. You got like Cash is right below my feet, and right below here you can't even see. I have Ragna, and then you can see half a Pike. So I can't be careful. I'm moving the chair and run over a dog. Yeah, you love the hat. It is on IamBeowulf.com. And I got the new ones too. Some of the new hats. They're up on the website. I'll put up. Let's see. I am Beowulf. I'll drop in that in the message. Did I spell it right? Yeah. Yeah, there's selling new shirts coming out. I'm like, just the hard thing is I want to get them up, but I have so much in stock. And then the hard thing is like new orders could be like really hard to get back in stock. So I'm waiting to see a little bit more what's going on with that, because some of the stuff is like really hard to get your hands on. I know like the last order I had to do was like really hard to get my hands on some stuff. My eye is turned like super red. I just need to take that contact out ASAP. Yes, I think tomorrow, if it doesn't rain, the breaks in the rain, taking the GP out. Taking the GP out is what the plan is. I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, kids, I'm going to wait for you 310R hat. Who knows what's going on? I rode the Kawasaki SXR today, and I'm like, this could be the last ride riding it. It's kind of sad, to be honest. I really want to master that stand-up. The hardest thing is riding intercoastal is like a no-go for that ski. They're just like unbelievable. The Sea Doos have problems riding in those for top-end speed. And it's like, you don't realize how great the Yamaha handles because you don't feel any of this stuff. And you get in these areas where there's like high current and it's like just turbulence. Perhaps why he doing the SXR? Because there's like literally the option. My main place I ride, it's unrideable to ride on there. I know he's obsessed to me. He's just not only jealous. He can't physically buy a jet ski. Yeah, that's crazy. It's literally, well, I think it's like the hard thing when you're riding the stand up. Like you'll get this thing where it starts rocking, and it's from the current, and it's like you can't even like describe what it is. It's just like unbelievable. You're like, what's going on? And it's like you think of the first time I learned how to stand up on it. It's like it was the most hardest place possible. First, you got sharks, alligators, high current, people are crazy, and then because I've tried all different things, and some stuff makes it better. And then like there'll be this one video coming out where I'm on the stand up, and I got it to worked really good. I'm like, oh, now it's kind of fun to ride here, right? Then the next day, I go out the next day, and I can't even stand up. The thing's just rocking around like out of control, and I'm like, what is going on? That's basically when I take it intercoastal. There's patches where you can know where the turbulence is, and you avoid it, and then come back, and it's just kind of funny. I think the funnier thing would be is that guy you're talking about, Parrot, and me and him have a boxing match, and let's see who you see YouTubers where they're boxing and stuff. I challenge that guy all day to a boxing match. Teach him a lesson. I think the funnier thing is wait till they have an event. We're at the same place, and I'll walk up to him and we'll see who's flapping the mouth. The brass is connected to. Oh yeah, no, there was like way up the intercoastal. They find like there was a dolphin found dead that traveled way up there. There's all types of stuff. My guy does the tattoo said, like way up because it'll be where it's like where the salt water ends, and like the tiger shark was even farther up there. Like when I go the other boat ramp, a tiger shark was pretty close there. That was seen, and it wasn't even in salt water. Like that's why today I was riding the stand up. I'm like, man, I've seen so many sharks where I go, and I'm like, hey, let's roll a dice. We're going on a stand up here now. I'm thinking like. Because I've had near misses of sea turtles too hitting me when I'm riding. And I totally would challenge him for a boxing match. I think that'd be hilarious. Yeah, no, it's just well, the problem is the main place people don't realize the main place I've been going to go riding the stand up. There's a giant like some decent sized gator, maybe like 12 feet or something, that lives underneath the swing bridge. It's literally every time going out there, I'm just like, okay, something's gonna finally happen. Something's gonna finally happen. It's just like literally, I've been got hit. The last ride I did with the RXP-X, the gator hit me, and I wasn't even aiming for it. It was sitting. There's an RV park there, and I'm dipping the thing with the trim down, and the gator like came at me, and no, it's just it's just crazy. Record 2 hours. It's on the channel. If you go under the RX last ride RXPX, you'll see when the gator hit it. And then we ran into the gator. There was one I couldn't get it when I was practicing the stand up turning. I fell and got back up, and it was the first time I was practicing turns there, which was already hard. And as the gator just comes out of the center of the intercoastal like a submarine coming up, and I see him looking at me, and I'm looking at him. But the problem is the GoPro on my helmet. The GoPro is like I have it angled a certain way where it gets a good point of view, right? So like what I was seeing was like not the same as with the GoPro because this thing was nearly at the surface, but not. I remember just going like, what am I doing out here? I think the same thing when I go in the ocean. Like, what am I doing here? Yeah, people don't realize that first video where I was like, I was real hot. I was breathing because I'm thinking to myself like, what am I doing? I remember the first time when I was trying to learn how to stand, I kept falling. I was breathing heavy. I'm like, what am I doing out here? This is like the dumbest thing you could possibly do. And the problem is like, majority of these gators like to stay in the center of the water, like a lake or a river or something. I remember, and especially too, it was like the beginning of the season. It'd be like close to spring. That's the mating season for the gators, and they're just completely out of control. I mean, I went out riding it yesterday, and all of a sudden you see these huge bubbles, like like a scuba diver, and obviously it's a gator underwater. Recently too, if you haven't seen a couple of my videos, there's swans now in this one part of the intercoastal, and there was one, and now there's a black swan, and then there's a last time I went out, there's another white swan. So there's like 3 swans. Yeah, no, there's a well, they had. If you look at the article in Georgia or Alabama over the weekend, 2 women were riding kayaks, and um, the alligator knocked over the one woman, some lake in Alabama. So the other woman comes to rescue the other woman because they can't get back on, and then the gator knocks her off. And somebody sure is calling 911, and the fire department comes out with a big rope to pull them in, and it was a 15-foot gator in a lake in Alabama that they didn't even know there was a gator there. Everybody didn't even know there was any kind of gator, let alone a 15-foot, 15 feet. Like you'll see this one video from yesterday. Was it yesterday? It was 2 days ago riding the stand-up. And this guy, local guy, he says he goes fishing where I go, this other part where I don't go. And the guy's like, yeah, we're fishing in the intercoastal, and we're throwing bait fish. And they said the boat was like a decent sized boat, nothing crazy. I don't want to say the wrong size, but it was like it made the stand up look tiny. He's like, yeah, we got gators, circling us the whole time. And I'm thinking, what? Like, I'm not a shocker, but I'm like, he said he sees gators because he lives on the ocean. Says when they go out fishing, they see gators swimming on the ocean. And it's like, who knows what's out there, to be honest. I think it's part of the fun. If you got stuck in the water, I'd be like, yeah, forget this. When you're on the stand up, you try not to think about it, but you're also like, it's part of like, it's a adrenaline rush, but also kind of like a stupidity rush. Like, what am I doing out here? I had it once. I had a seagull, but it went underneath this. Went underneath the ski and came back up and flew away. Luckily. Calls a Beowulf a win. bro. So that's like being in the ocean on it, not tipping on the sharks. Well, I had like crazy videos. Like I had run-ins with great whites in the same area where I went riding the stand-up, but like out on the ocean, not like. But they probably could swim in there. It's kind of like it's one of those things like you just kind of like try not to think about because sharks swim so fast too, like unbelievable. People have no clue how fast they swim. It's like you can see a shark here, and if they see something they want, they're like here in a blink of the eye. They're already like there. They're definitely like they're attracted to bright colors too. That's why today, like that Jettrim swimming suit I had on, it was gray and black and no bright colors. No bright colors on. It's like dark colors. Leave me alone. Except for I got that really cool PWZ dog or drain plugs, and they're like green and shiny. So you imagine it's the glare of the sun. It's like, whoosh, like what is it? It's some green, but it probably just blends in. But I have a Sea Doos. I always got tapped by sharks on the ocean. Like you'd be like, you'd feel this like the ski would just go like this, like when you're riding, like this bump. And it's kind of a little scary. You have the RXT-X bright yellow. It's just like ring a dinner bell. Ding 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 ding. That's too funny. Too much stuff to talk about. And we're at 2 hours. We gotta end this. It's time for me to go do other stuff. But it's fun. It's been fun. It's been fun. It's man, it's already 11. I'm gonna turn into a pumpkin. And just be safe out there. You kind of listen to the stories, and well, it's like funny too. Long story made short. When I went to the Cayman Islands, and I've been since a little kid going to Stingray City there, right? And you think like how it's safe. Like I can't tell you how many. I've hardly seen any sharks there. So like a couple days before we came there, a tiger shark was swimming through all those people in Stingray City, like a big tiger shark. And because they want to eat the stingray. And think of how many people wouldn't like when you're there, you're not allowed to bring a snorkel and no flippers and stuff. So your bare feet, you're just like knee deep of water. Who would figure there's because when they bring the boat in backwards, it's kind of deep where it's up to your neck. Well, who would have known jumping in? It could be like a tiger shark sitting there. That's a little scary. Nobody got hurt, obviously. But I mean, you watch videos and there's like hammerheads racing through there and people aren't even clueless because you watch the videos. And especially when it's knee deep, because most shark attacks are knee deep of water. And boom, you see these sharks just moving around like a rocket ship moving around. It's unbelievable. And those tourist places, like even Myrtle Beach. I think Myrtle Beach is like the top 3 most dangerous beaches in the whole United States. And I guarantee you, tourism here, they don't want to be telling that. The lifeguards don't even say shark over the radio. They call them gray fish. They try to keep this stuff so hush, hushy, hush that they don't want people knowing. Kids, you got a shark ban, though, right? Yes, I do. There's actually this one company. It's really interesting. I don't have to look them on Instagram. The German company. I asked them about sending me out one, but I think they're doing a Kickstarter before it comes out. I'm hoping they got this device coming out. And it's interesting they followed me. I didn't see them. And it's this device that'll be on your ankle that will detect a shark in the water. The shark band's a magnet to defer. They track stuff with electricity and stuff, right? So they get close to you. And it says in their label, the shark band does not work against great white sharks for a fact, because the great white shark just comes up from behind you and gets you. There is no it didn't come check you out. They're just following you. And but most sharks it stops against. So once they get close to you, the magnet gives off stuff to like their sensors and gives them like a headache kind of thing, and they just dip out. Well, this one company in Germany has this thing that's huge device, but what it does is somehow detects a shark in the water, and there's some alarms, to get out. But I probably think of like how cool that is, but how scary that could be. Like you're swimming or surfing and you hear ding, 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 ding. It's like this Jaws theme song. Dun, 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 dun. It'd be like, the Jaws theme song where it's like slow. It's like dun, 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 dun. And then it gets dun, 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 dun. It's like, it'd be like the band, like, get out. I definitely like this. I'm up to try it. I just like, where is the alligator band? What do we got to deter those gators? It's kind of crazy though, because they just sit and wait for somebody. It's like going out there now. It's like when I go into the swing bridge driving the stand up, I'm like thinking like it's like it's like, welcome to Jurassic Park. And it's like, what? It's something just gonna fly out of nowhere. And the crazy thing with the new Riva handlebars and stuff. So before you kind of be like, even the stand up, your arms are more inwards, right? Well, now with the Riva ones, you're riding the stand up where your elbows are just hanging off the side. I'm sitting there like, you're just like a chicken where you just go, come get the wing. I have no clue what's going on. He's Danny asks what's going on with him. I've never had any issue with him until he's like, but he's constantly talking. He's jealous and talks a lot of problems. And to me, if he's that unhappy with life, he's probably just upset with family life and stuff like that. You know, again, somebody might need some psychiatric help or some medication or something, probably to make him better. He's a big hater. To me, I think it'd be cool. Munchie, if you look at car YouTubers, they do videos together, and the majority of these people doing jet ski stuff, they're kind of stuck up. And I don't know. I've never had an issue with him, and he's talked a lot of. I've heard from people he's talked a lot of bad stuff. And again, I love to meet him in person because I guarantee you, no talk would happen. The guys meeting, he'd be like, you're my buddy, right? You're my buddy. I'll be like, hey, we're doing that boxing match. How about this? We do a boxing match on a ring that's in the ocean, and if you fall off, we got sharks. Crunchy said, my vote would be Kawasaki Ultra 310 Beowulf. Yeah, definitely. The poll is on the Facebook, or not Facebook, Instagram. You can tell I'm getting tired. But I can hear Willie crying. Willie's like, I need food. That's a lot of people voted. A lot of people voted, man. And it's neck and neck battle. Kate said, how do you hate the Beowulf? He's just, I think the biggest thing the guy's upset, you know, the funniest thing, he doesn't own a jet ski at all. Who listens to reviews of somebody who that doesn't physically spend the money to go buy something? Truth hurts. But anyways, enough of that. Who really cares about that? He's old news. And let's care about what's going on in the future with this channel. Who cares about what's going on with him? Don't bring the negativity this way. So anyways, it's the end of the video. Check out the Amazon store, amazon.com/shop/I'm Beowulf. Check all the cool stuff. And a GoPro Hero 9's on there too. So if you guys are looking to pick up, there's a deal going on there. And check out all that stuff on there. GoPro Hero 9 is 100 times better than the GoPro Hero 8. I was glad I sold my GoPro Hero 8 and got any money back. Definitely GoPro Hero 9 is a win. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, Beowulf Nation.